Well, thank you for having us today. I'm John Fairley, this is Angell, Liao, and we are, of course, from China, and it's a tough act to follow, but we'll do our best. So we're going to talk today again about how to effectively tap into the Chinese market, and first we're going to explain kind of how we have succeeded in China and what we mean to the China market, and kind of tell you what we think is the best way to tap into the Chinese market based off our experience.
Okay, so talking about our company, Angell is the mother company. In fact, I started this company 5 years ago. From that day, I just concentrate on mobile internet application development. Although we can develop some web game or some web things, but we refuse all this kind of project. We just focus on applications. And then after 2 years just happening, we have a very successful application named the stage. But this one really didn't make lots of money. But from that day, we began to do some education applications until today. So today. Do you need I tie them up?
No, that's okay. As long as it's not on the microphone.
Okay, yeah. It's okay. So from the 3 years ago, then we become the top educational brand in China App Store, and also the #7 publisher in Chinese App Store. And today, because I do like data magic, so I want to share some maybe it's not right, but what we do in China. Yes. So among our 6 million downloading, 90% from China. So that's Chinese rank, looks like.
Yeah, so for those who can't read Chinese, so if you'll notice, you may not notice that first 2 or 3 apps, they are all relating to Chinese. You see Chinese, and you see English, math, Chinese. It goes on and on, repeating that pattern. So the top apps, for the most part, are all English, Chinese, or math.
So if you can not understand Chinese, you can just see pictures. This means Chinese pinyin, and this means English, and this means maths. So you could see the rank. It's just talking about Chinese, maths, pinyin, and English. So if you do this, that's right. So most of our applications, maybe here, you can develop English learning applications. That's a good news. And sometimes Joe will ask me why it comes in this way. So I will show you something. Just is one of my staff's report cards. Yeah, this is elementary school. So you will see that here is something like Chinese, and here is math, and here is English. So this will mean that these 3 subjects is the most important thing. And besides that, some sport or art or something else, you can see here, just a blank. So that's what's happening in the elementary school. And if you come into middle school, then this is the report of the maths subject. But you will see it's only score here. That's the test score. And here you will find some people will say how they study and are they active answer teacher's question, how they teamwork with others. But all this just no score at all. Anybody have a question? Okay, let me go now. Yeah, so after more than 10 years of study, till the end, if you are going to college, you will have this paper. And on this paper, you will see what is matter. This is Chinese, maths, and English.
Wow.
That is the most important thing. And besides that, you will have some, just like maybe 20 scores, just like all the other subjects mixed together. And besides that, you will choose something like physical or technology or something like
Physical education, and then also oral Chinese. And so this is the only indicator they have after they graduate. And this is also their equivalent to SAT. So when they are looking at colleges, this is the only document they get for their entire education.
Wow.
So you can go back like this, because this. So that's the reason why the Chinese market looks in that way. But you know how important this paper mean to ordinary Chinese people. I can show you something very personally. And this is my family's old picture. And this is my father. And then this is my grandfather and the grandma. And this is my mom. And then my father has 4 sisters and brothers. And it's not me, it's my brother. So in this big family, only one go to the college. And that's my mom. Because her family is a high official in the government. But for my father, he's very smart. He has passed the test of the college for twice in his life, but he just had no chance. The first time he passed the examination, but the 10 years cultural evolution happened in China. Anybody knows about this?
Yes.
Knows about what I'm talking about? Yes. And after 10 years, he passed the examination again, but because some kind of behavior in that 10 years, and the government refused him to go to the college. And talking about his younger sisters and brothers, they stopped learning from middle school and elementary school. So for them, they all have no chance to go to the college. So, this is the story happened in a normal family. There are lots of this kind of family. They just, our parents don't have chance to go to the college. And the people younger than me, that means their father and mother younger than me, even have no chance just to finish their middle school educational thing. So that's the reason. Another thing happened. You will make things more confused. And this is me. That means 3 years later, after my brother's born, I born. Then another big thing happened in China. That is one-child policy. That means the people younger than me will have no brother and sisters in their family. That's a big change, You can see at that time, this is all the things that's just once people, your family. That means married later and have child later and only have one child. That's the way you make your life happy. So that's what's happened. So it will make a lot of things that's for the parents and the kids, things is changing in that way. Because eager and lack of for education, so the parents will think that knowledge is education. Because if people can know more about life, know more about the real education, they will know lots of things beyond the knowledge. Because it's some creative things and teamwork and lots of things. But if they just lack of this and they stop learning when they're just in middle school, they will think knowledge point is so important. So it will limit what they will do in the rest of their life. So for them, they will encourage their kids learning that knowledge is the most important thing. That go to college is important also. And then because this is the only kid in a big family, just like lots of family, they have 4 grandma, grandpas, and 2 parents, and only 1 kid. And that's what means the kids at home, the parents and the families will say, you just do nothing, study. I just grow up in that kind of saying. I didn't do anything at home, just study. And most people younger than me, all in the same way, because nobody needed to do anything. The whole family just hope you can study well. What means study well? That is go to the college. How to go to the college is based on your Chinese, maths, and English. And that's happened many years in China. But I have good news later.
And one more thing I wanted to say that was really interesting that I've learned since being there is that when they say knowledge, studying is important, they really mean knowledge is important. Parents would tell their kids, don't worry about friends, it gets in the way of studying. Don't do chores, it gets in the way of studying. Your only purpose in life, almost, is to study.
Yeah. You didn't do any kind of housework.
Yeah.
You just do your homework. So that's something happened. Yeah. And you can see some picture. That is what happened in the nearest 10 years, and to encouraging people go to a college. And this sentence says, for your mother's smile. That if you can study well and go to college, so your mom will smile. And this is sweet. I can give you some example like this. This one means that there is only way you pass the test and go to the college. Then you got a chance, has a good life, better than some people tall, this Gao tribe food, tall and rich and handsome, and their father and their parents are official. That's your only chance to help them to just passing the examination. And this is more dangerous. That means if you didn't die on your study, you just study till die.
So if you haven't died yet from studying, then study until you die.
Yeah, that's interesting. So but it's really happening. Yes. So and this will mean that even one score you higher than others, you will just be better than thousands of people based on the huge competition. Yeah. So that's something happened. So we choose this also. We choose Chinese, Pinyin, English numbers. So that's what's coming. But I will say that this is only parents want. But Apple wants. Apple wants something creative, unique, function, and quality. I just want to say function. This is maybe because we have featured by Apple for many times. So sometimes we talk about what kind of thing they are willing to feature. Because such a company like Apple, their device has some new function. They are willing that if you can use this kind of function, they can feature you something like that. So you need a creative, unique, and use all kind of functions as more as you can, and you need the quality. So if you want success in China, you must hit the two points at the same time. So sometimes it's just a very big challenge for all of the people. Something. So, but we are lucky doing this good. So, in the past 2014, we have been featured 20 weeks by Apple in Chinese App Store. So that makes us good. So I will say that because this kind of market, so we choose this subject. But because of Apple's rules and because we need to give the kids creative thing, good thing, high quality thing, so Apple featured us. So we do that both at the same time. Then you can let the parents notice you, and then you got your download. And I want to tell you some good news. This is my company, and you can see that global people works together, and now young people looks different. In the morning, we'll play Tai Chi at our office. We play music, just like the conference. And we even play some people for kissing. And people share in the office much more often. And we have our events. And we just go traveling together. So this generation is totally different. And we even, some teachers sing together with our staff. And we have very unique role in our companies. That is very different, and it comes to my kids. So generation is changing. So for me, I learn something, and I want to be global, and I want my kids can learn much more better things in the future. So that means people younger than me, they are changing mind. They like creative things. They want to be global, and they want their kids to learn something brand new. So that's the chance. That's a very good chance. I think. For the next years, because you can see that me and Echo, our two founders, we have the same age kids. So Chinese people are just very obey the rules. We marry late, we have child late. So people younger than us will be more better. They will just more focused on creative thing, interesting thing, and global things. I think that's our chance. So for the new generation, it comes in that way.
So for the new generation, meaning the new parents, the younger parents, they are spending a lot more money on education through to the one-child policy and the massive amount of income from the grandparents, and there's a focus on one kid. They're also focusing on becoming more global because, well, globalization is everywhere. And they are wanting to establish new educational reforms. In the past, it's always been rote memorization. But the parents they realize, since they've been through the education system, that it's not necessarily the best way to learn. And so they're looking to explore new ways, find new ways to teach their kids. And so this is for the new parents' generation. They're educated now, and they want something better.
And beyond that, there's a good news. From this year, Chinese government just opened the one-child policy. They encourage people to have the second child. So that was lots of my friends are planning to do. And most of the parents now don't really satisfy about the Chinese educational system now. So that's all the chance for us to make good things happen in China. So if there's something just like tiny little thing you can do, the most important thing I think is first is localization. So at least your app need a Chinese title, and you need a Chinese description. What I mean Chinese description doesn't mean you need to translate lots of things into Chinese, but at least in the first sentence of your description, you telling the people telling the parents what the kids will learn from your application. That's very important thing. So in our company, we have this kind of rules of our description. First, telling the parents what the kids will learn, and second, telling the parents what about quantity, how long, and what they will learn with the results, and that's also important. And the third, telling the people how many parents are using your application at the same time. And if you got some error, just telling them. So because the parents will pay the application for their kids, but Chinese people, just the Chinese family parents, maybe they will not just so involved like others parents to play with the kids together and play before the kids. So that will make sense. You make your description be easy for them to understand. But somebody asked, do we need just all of our application into Chinese that with Chinese background and a Chinese voice? I don't think it's so important, because lots of Chinese parents want their kids can hear more English, and just in English stories and English applications is no problem to them if only the kids can play. So the description is more important than the application itself, but you need the Chinese title. Yeah. And the second thing is that it's how to pay. I won't say how to pay.
Yeah, it's for monetization, not implementation. Sorry.
Yeah. So we have lots of applications. So we tried lots of different way and different price how to make it be easy, or how to make a business better. So we find out in app purchase it's always better than pay in China. There's comes two reasons. First one, people didn't try your application and they need to pay, so it's a challenge for them. Another thing that is in China, there's still some kind of platform will steal others' application. So if you are paid the application, it's very easy, for people just move to their platform. So that's a choose. But if you are in app purchase, it will make things that's not so easy to do. So that's another reason. And but if you want in app purchase, maybe you need to separate into a lot of payments, because the parent don't have so many time to pay for many times for your application. So you can make a one-time payment, but it could be a one large payment. And sometimes Apple's people just suggest us to be subscription. We didn't try that before, and if we try, it works, and we'll tell you. Okay. And QQ is very popular.
So QQ is kind of like, remember Instant Messenger back in the 90s, AOL and all that. So pretend that Instant Messenger did not die off and became very popular in the US. That's what QQ is in China. They use it all the time in work to transfer files and communicate with different departments.
So maybe you need a QQ, you need the account of QQ to be your serve of the parents sometimes. But here, the QQ means high quality and high quantity. So Chinese people, they always like something very high quantity, yeah. Very big, and they will think their kids can use it longer. If something is very good, but the kids just use it maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they will think, oh, it's not just worth it. If you're telling them your application, the kids will use more than 1 month, they'll be, oh, cool, maybe I can try. So, and about interaction, interaction, I just want to say, action is very important. Sometimes developer will focus on how to make the application interact with the kids. But what's here, I want to say that you need to find a way to make the kids show what they learned or did to their parents. Because Chinese parents, I said before, they're not really involved, just like playing the application with their kids. So if you find some way to let the parents know what's happened, that would be nice. So in our application, we will try and find ways in that something like we just follow the pronunciation, just like they pronounce the cat, so the kids will pronounce cat. At the same time, we give a mark to let the kids know how is their voice, and they will very pay attention to the pronunciation cat, and the parents will hear the voice. And the parents will think, oh, they are learning good about this. Then they will pay attention to your application. That's what I mean to make the kids show what they learned or did to their parents. And if your application allows the parents to share on the Chinese social media WeChat, that will be perfect. Because if there anyone know about WeChat?
WeChat's kind of like the WhatsApp, Europe's WhatsApp for China, and it combines Facebook as well.
It's really very popular in China. And people just post anything on WeChat just for others give them this. So if the parents can share something on their WeChat about your application, that's really very good. So in our application, sometimes if the kids will finish some parts, just like singing a song, we will allow the parents share on their WeChat with others. That's what we do. This is what WeChat looks like. So you'll see this. It's based on phone. It's not based on network or computer. It's based on your phone. And people can just have some event or show what's happened about their company. So WeChat also could have a company account. So you just have a company account on WeChat and post something about your application, about your business. That's really useful for you.
Would that need to be in English? Would it need to be in Chinese, or would it be okay to do that in English?
If in the Chinese marketing, maybe you need to be in Chinese. Just like LinkedIn and Apple, they all have their Chinese WeChat. Yeah. Okay. And the rating review updates also important. Just make sure that you can update your application, because for Apple review team, one time you update your application, there is one time for them to see your application. If they think you are good, maybe they will feature. So sometimes people will have lots of different kind of applications, but each one tiny and small. But for Chinese marketing, this kind of situation, because we tried a lot, so we want to focus on the big one application that we update it many times. So Apple will see it many times, but the update is not just a tiny picture, a tiny little thing. We just update with content that make it good content and better than before. So it will give Apple many chances to feature you. That's how we got 20 weeks featured in App Store in 1 year. So we update our application, this 4 applications for 33 times in the past year. And for this year, we even changed a lot of user experience of this application. For this one and this one, we changed a lot. So it will be a good way. And this application is not so popular the first time we submitted it. But after several times update, it was be featured, and this one even in each Apple store in China. So it will do help you a lot. So you need to update your application and got more reviews. And the Chinese people, if they really like you, they also review. They will review lots of things. And this our application will get more than 14,000 reviews. So this is the 2 years ago picture. That's my first time in Dust or Magic. And that time I bring my first application, that is Magic the Stage. And 2 years later, I think we survival, and we really like the business, because it's not only business, it can just like what Dust or Magic say, just let the kids growing up more better. That's really good, really cool. So I have some Chinese saying that is 生存不易，奋斗更难，梦想不弃，坚持到底. So John translated. Well,
Basically, surviving is not easy, struggling is even harder, and never give up. Keep pursuing to make your dreams come true.
thank you.
Before you go off the stage, I know there are a lot of questions.